Right, this is part 2 of constructing my road. Unfortunately, yesterday when I went to the shop, it was a bit late when I went down, that's why I'm doing it today, which is Sunday. But when I went to the shop, they didn't have any marker pens, unfortunately. Don't worry about that, because now we can turn our attention to this. When I said on how I coloured this, instead of actually buying marker pens, I bought this. That is black shoe polish, and that's what we're going to use to colour our road in. So I'm going to pause the video, get set up, and see how well this works, because I've not used these ones before. Don't know where the hell that's just come from. I've not used these ones before. The one that I used was a big massive bottle. So we're going to see how well this works. So pausing the video, getting set up, and I'll open up one of these. I can tell you a little something about these, that these are the liquid ones, which was the same as the big bottle. That's why I think these ones will work. So here we go. Let's open one of these up. Let's hope that this is a sponge underneath this, because if it's not, then I doubt if it will work. For some reason it doesn't open. I don't know how this works. Ah, it's a sponge. So let's see. It's coming out. Not as dark as I hoped. I don't like the other one. I think I should have shook this before I actually used it. Oh, sugar. These are rubbish. And it is darkening it, and I've got it everywhere. So I'm going to pause the video now and try. Oh, no, I'm going to try and get a nice dark straight first. These are too liquidy. I'm going to try and shake it up again a little bit. It is darkening in places. You just have to keep reapplying this, but at least this one is actually black, not grey like the shoe polish that I tried to use before. It's going all lumpy. Give me a minute while I just can get something. Right, what I've got is some tissue. I made a right mess all over this. Look, it does go black. You just have to keep reapplying it. That's how I did the Level crossing. There's all bits. I should have shook up all this. So I have actually kind of ruined the road a little bit. I believe when it's dry I might be able to get rid of all these lumpy bits that's in there. It's actually doing it to the tissue as well. So eventually this will darken. Now I've got all the bits all over this. You just have to darken it and then get the bits off after it's dry. I know it doesn't look like much now, but it will when it's finished. I don't have to worry too much because I have 3 of these. Well, technically 2 because I have to keep one away. I don't have to, but I said I was going to. That's why I said I have to keep one away. Say that I'm going to do something and don't do it. I'm just a prat. So technically I have to keep one of these away. I'll be back when this is dry. Hold on, I missed a little bit there. Back in a bit. Right, so while I'm waiting for this to settle in, I'm just going to go over bits that I have missed. I just noticed that bit's not darkened yet. Doesn't matter about it going all patchy at the moment. So when it's completely black, it'll look awesome. It'll look exactly the same way as I've done the road on the level crossing. So as you can see, the road is already starting to look black. We've just got to wait for that to dry. Anyway, I need to show someone something, so I'm going to pause in the video while we wait for this to dry. Saves me taking up a load of time. Right, we are almost ready to apply the next coat. I'm just going to leave this to dry. I'm going to go and take a break and have a cigarette. I'm going to go over that bit a little bit more. So it looks really dry. Yeah, it's doing a really good job. It's not coming out grey or anything like that. It's actually coming out black. I need to stop applying it because it needs to dry. So I can apply another coat so it will darken it. So, see in a bit. Right, it's not overly dry, but we are going to attempt to apply another coat. I was going to try and use a hairdryer to dry it, but it seems that I can't get a hold of one. As you can see, that is getting darker and darker. So now we're going to wait for that layer to dry. Just so you know, I did actually miss a little bit on that bit and on that corner there, which I've just topped it up, so you can actually see a massive dark blotch there. We actually can see it on the camera, but I've missed a bit just there. You wouldn't see the other one on the camera. You want to make sure that all this is perfectly black. And like I said, it does actually make a real difference to that, because as you can see, that's where I put the ink from the markers, that real big dark line there. That was from marker pens. Look at how dark the shoe polish is going to it. Eventually that will camouflage and it will look like that, because that is done with more or less the same shoe polish. So it's this kind of shoe polish that you want to get, the one that's got the brush on the end. You try and do it with the normal polish with the tissue, it doesn't actually go so well. It ends up turning out grey, which I actually tested on another road that I was doing. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the two straights that I finished. I finished those up with marker pens. Actually, instead of pausing there and finishing there, I also want to just point out that I bought myself another one of these as well. So I'll be able to get accurate lines instead of struggling to draw lines. Right, see you in a bit while this dries. Right, time has passed. We're going to attempt another coat. Hold on, my battery just decided to start saying it's dying because the charger wasn't plugged in properly, so that's simple. So here goes next coat. It's not dry enough for this, but it is darkening a bit more. Yeah, I think I should have let it dry a bit longer. But you can see that it is colouring it to a very dark black. Right, I'm going to leave that now to dry again. It is a long process, and just to let you know that when I've actually done this, I'm going to show off some real driving skill. Instead of just driving my car like I did last time, I am going to actually show you that I can actually reverse the trailers and turn them around. You know what, I just patched up a little bit. I'm going to try a new method over the road. So that actually seems to be making more effect. Instead of smoothing it over like I just was, I'm going to blotch it over the road and then let it dry. So it actually does dry to a very dark black. I'll throw some liquid in there. I think this might have been a bad idea. There's liquid coming out still. bad. I think that's about it. Just a lot of trouble, yeah. I'm trying to smooth some of that out. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think I've just used up a lot of this. But it has gone a lot darker. I'm going to leave that now to dry permanently. And then give it another coat. Yeah, so that blotching was actually a bad idea. Just kept on doing it the way that I was doing it. It would have eventually gone this dark, keep on coating it. So don't do that blotching what I just did. Not a good idea. I've just caught on that I need to smooth this out. Where it's gone all blotchy. It's actually gone more or less to an actual liquid. So that would have took hours to dry. So don't blotch it, really do not blotch it the way that I just did. It looked like it was going to work, but it would have took hours for that to dry. I'm still smoothing it out now. And what I've done is made puddles everywhere. Other than that, it has gone a lot more darker than what it was. Now I'm actually pushing water around. It made me think that these may need shaking up. So like I said, you can use shoe polish. I think that's almost empty. That's from when I've done the blotching. And as I was wiping off over that end, it's still got a puddle. Some of this actually liquefied onto the carpet. Which means that that's going to stay in the carpet. When I finish this, it won't matter that much because you won't be seeing the carpet. Because always best to have a smooth surface, because if you run motors over carpet and stuff like that, the hairs off the fibres from the carpet can get jammed in the motors. Really, I'm only lino in here. Had this have been lino, I would have mopped that up within seconds. So, see you later. Right, I'm back. It's actually looking a lot blacker. Oops, when I open that, that actually poured some out. So we're going to go over this again. I may have to break out the other one. Or not. This isn't overly dry just yet, but it's getting there. As you can see, it's starting to go a lot more blacker. And when it's hit the finishing touch, it'll be black as black. The hair stuck to me. Right, where's that bit of tissue? So I can knock that up. So I don't know how long we've got to wait for this to actually dry properly. But as you can see, it does look very much like a tarmac road. I'm going to try and put some light on that so you can see it. Where's my lighter? There. So you can see that there is still some patches on it. But those patches, they will disappear eventually. And all this that I can see bubbling up that I thought was that I thought was coming off this being like thick blotches, I've actually just discovered it's the ink off the marker pen. That's probably why this didn't go so well, because the marker pen's got involved with it. So, back again in a bit. Right, I've just gone over this again with this a little bit. I'm concluding that this is completely out. So we're going to get a new one. There we go. Starting to pour some out. I'm going to go over this again. So when I did the level crossing, it must have been a long process for me to actually get the road as black as I did. I could be wrong because it seems to... No, it still looks as dark as it did. We'll get there. I need a hairdryer, really. Back in a moment. Right, it's kind of dark. As I said no to batteries before, check this out. That is a remote, because I've done a video on this before. That is the remote to light, for some lights. Instead of plugging that into a socket, I can actually still use a battery. Yeah, right. See if I've got the lights in the right way. They're not switching on, so I haven't got them in the right way. 2 seconds. Right, let's try again. Remote battery. Oh, I think the battery's dead. The battery's dead. I think. Oh, it ain't. This worked before, why is it not working? Let's try again, turning this around. So it could be the lights being in a funny position. Now I haven't broke my lights. Oh, press the wrong button there. No, I think it did battery die. I can't see how. I can now. You're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm going to actually have to plug this in. Right, I'm back. We are going to see now if it is this battery being dead. If it is, I'll just charge this up. But it does work from that battery. It's how I put the lights on before. I've just gone and got a USB plug. Let's try now. Yeah. And they're still not turning on. what's going on with these lights. Might not be connecting them correctly. Oh! I take it back. I've been pressing the off button. I'm going to put it back on the battery. Right, just so that I can actually show this properly. I keep forgetting that the red button is the off button. Let's try now. Hey! We have light. I did it from that. If you don't believe me. Off. On. Off. On. And that's how we have this connected. So we don't have to keep changing batteries on the remote itself. Or if I want, I can plug that straight into the USB and it still works, as I showed on the video of that. Anyway, let's get back to the road, because some of this has started to dry now. So we're going to move some of this stuff. Give me a minute while I do that, and we're going to give this another coat. Yeah, this shoe polish wasn't as good as the original one that I used on the level crossing, but it has done an awesome job. Oh, this is actually painting it completely black. In places. So I won't have to coat this much more. Yes, judging from this, I think this is the last coat of the shoe polish. Because I'm starting to now not see any streaks. And I can't see where the marker pen ink was. Apart from the lines here. So it is going to need a bit more coats in a few places. That is now starting to look like a proper road. But we do have a bit of a problem. This has started damping right here. And I don't know how I'm going to resolve that. That's probably when it was dabbing. Shouldn't have done that. It's kind of ruined the cardboard, but it's fine. When I put the pavement over it, it shouldn't be too bad. Considering that I can actually press it down and smooth it out slightly. So we are almost ready to actually fit the pavement. Fortunately, I'm using really dark lighting. Unfortunately, it's gone dark and I'm using really shifty lighting. So we change colour on the lights and see what happens. So we can make this a bit brighter. So we have orange. Some of the lights are a little bit flashy. Oh, because I'm pressing flash, that's why, instead of actual colours. Yeah, I'm going to say let that dry and then I'm going to add one more coat over that. Turn it back to white. Pause video. Right, scratch that. I've just turned the lights off. Without them lights, I can actually see perfectly on the road. Right, that one actually dried out really nicely at a quick pace. So yeah, do not do the dabbing. So I'm going to give it the last coating. Only dab when you need to. You do one dab and then spread it out. That's how these ones work. Like I said, it doesn't matter about going over the lines. We'll put dabs there and smooth that in. Right, I'm going to turn these lights off a minute. The lights are actually plugged in down there. They also work off USB. I'll show you that in a minute actually. So I should be able to function it straight from, what's it called? Battery. Yeah, I'm actually getting really happy with that. It's just a little bit of streaking in places. But other than that, that road is actually very close to being done. Right, I can actually say that when that's dry, that will dry quite neat. So what we're going to do now is switch the lights back on. Actually no, switch it back off a minute. I'm going to hold this up to the camera. Oh, sugar. That's just ruined up road card and stuff. Clearly enough it hasn't disorientated it, but you can see how perfectly black that road is. And that's from using shoe polish. It really does work. Unfortunately there's a bit lumps and stuff on there at the moment, but that's nothing. Get rid of those easily when it's dry. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to just show you how these lights actually work. So, these are lights I was using to brighten them up. They do unravel. There are loads of lights on there that stretches really long. What we're going to do, it's not really good lighting, we're going to use a torch to show what we're working with. Yeah, you can see that. There's the USB. Oh, Christ, let me detach that a minute. Right, this is what I use to plug. This is what I use to plug the lights in. It's very hard to see with this lighting. I'm gonna try and move the camera a bit better. I'm gonna put this over. Yeah, I'm gonna pause the video a minute and get set up for this. There we go. That's much better lighting. It's because the laptop was facing down. So this is the cable that plugs into the lights. This is the end that plugs in. That is actually the receiver for the remote. So these are the lights. There's the connector that plugs into the receiver. 4-pin, just plugs in just like that. Now I'm going to grab this battery pack and I'm going to plug the lights into it. Lights do not light up at the moment, but this has a double extender. This is the remote for the lights. If I was to take that off, all you'd see inside there is 2 wires that's connected to the positive and negative in the remote. There's no soldering done to that whatsoever, so I can actually remove that wire and have the batteries put back in. I'm going to try and open that and use my bank card just to show you that this is some serious work. Oh yeah, I forgot to put a nut in it so I can pull on the wire. So that's all that's inside there. The positive is over here and the negative is there. Those 2 pieces at the other end don't do nothing because that's where the batteries actually connect as one. So ignore batteries on that. But we're going to put the back of the remote back on. Obviously I did purposely drill a hole through the batteries because I don't like batteries. I've got to admit, I do not like batteries because they run out, you have to keep changing them, all this. Rechargeable batteries are okay, I will admit, but I don't have to take the case off to charge this battery off. And this has got a long lifespan now. So I'm going to plug the remote into that, which I've done now. So you can see the wire. If I bring that down, you can see that that's the wire in the remote. Right, receiver and lights. Remote, green button there is on. Went a bit funny then because I've got 2 pieces of equipment operating on 1 battery. So I can still use this on batteries, but I don't have to take the backing off or anything like that to change the battery. Or better yet, charge it up. That's the charger port for this battery right there, and then they're the external USB ports. So that's a good feature to be having. So once again, as I said on the other video, as I labelled it, say no to batteries. And you can just brace everything up with USB. So say you've got an alarm clock, you don't have to worry about the battery dying on it. You can put it into a USB and plug it into one of these plugs. Any one of them that's got the USB external. It works on plugs, everything the lot. Anything that takes a USB, gives output on USB, you can use these lights. Why I showed that, because I showed that in a different video, but I'm just getting really bored and waiting for this to dry is like waiting for watching paint dry, boring. So I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to come back to the road. Right, I've plugged the lights back in, I've got the bulb back here, let's light it up. I've plugged the lights back into the plug. So, battery to the remote, grab the remote, lights on, lights on, lights on, I've got it in back to front. That can happen, the lights just don't turn on if it's in back to front. Just gotta turn the receiver around. Like I said, just had to turn the receiver around. Now that's just flicking through different colours, I'm not sure if that'll go to white. Now turn it off and back on. Now it's muddled up a little bit. What's it connected on? It's hit the table leg. There we go, got it on white. But the blue keeps seeping through because it's not stretched out properly. So it's making contact with all the other lights. Just make sure that is on white. Turn them off a minute, there we go. So yeah, that's definitely on white. Oh! My laptop's been drinking alcohol. I haven't, not today. I normally do drink on a weekend, but I just don't fancy it this weekend. I was more interested in getting this road done. I'll clean all them bits off later. But I do need to move some of it to the side. So this will still work. Right, the pavement pieces that we constructed. I want to do this one first. I do need to move these bits off the road. Let me pause the video while I do that. Right, I've got rid of all the main bits. So this now is going to go there as pavement. Just get it lined up. Now you can see why it didn't really matter about it going over the line. Because once this pavement goes down, it fits nice and flush. So pause video while I apply glue to the pavement. And obviously the glue will be applied along all this. That's why that didn't matter as well about looking a mess, because it's that bit that we wanted looking neat. So I'm going to pause video while I apply glue. I've decided, because now I've found all the stuff, that I'm actually going to do the first one on video. So the way to apply the glue, make sure that you do a nice wiggly line all the way along the pavement. Any excess glue, just wipe it onto the cardboard. There's a reason why to do it in that much of a mess, because you're not wasting that much glue. So that's how I put it on. That's all glue, what you can see all the white there. All we're going to do is use a glue stick spreader and just spread it out evenly for it to hold the pavement down. So now you know that I'm going to spread it out. I will pause the video while I spread it out. Right, so I've finished spreading out the glue nice and evenly. Now we're just going to position this in the correct place onto the road. I need to move this over a little. So now, to hold this down, it's another thing that you can use to hold it down, books. And I'm going to use my trainer. I want to put something over it first. So I don't get a mess on my pavement. While I wait for that to dry, I'm going to move on to the next piece. which is this one. I'm going to do that one off camera. So I don't think you need to see that now, you just see me do the one. Right, I need to do this bit on camera. It has got glue on it, but we need to make sure the pavement, and it does line up with that. So I can put the back on there, crossing both of those. Piece of paper. Not long enough, I'm going to need to get a fresh piece. I'm going to pause the video while I get a fresh piece of paper. Just to let you know that I've just had to actually press down once again on this because it's lifting up in places. I didn't level it out properly. Same as this one is lifting up slightly, it's folding outwards. So you've got to watch that it doesn't do that. That's why to put weights on it to hold it flat. Which I'm going to have a problem because I ain't got nothing. I'm having big problems. This glue's going to dry before I actually get it set. I have to pause the video to sort this out. Right, I've had to take the one up because this one's going worse. The way that I'm going to actually fix this one started lifting up again. And the edging, it's not too bad though, it will work. And what I should have done to start with is fold that so it actually folds outwards when it's pressed. It's just being really awkward. That's what stuff does for me, it just becomes really awkward. Now that's flattened the way that I've just flattened it. If I put that back in, that's a much better fit. So I'm going to try and lift this one up and do the same with that one. I want to be careful that it doesn't rip the cardboard because it seems like it really wants to rip the cardboard. It's come up. That's awesome. So I'd recommend doing this before you apply glue to bend it so it folds inwards like that. When it presses down it actually sits flat and not sticking up all over the place. Yeah, that's much better. So I forgot to do that. So before I move on, before I put any glue on this, I'm going to do the same with this. Just fold it inwards. It also gives it a nice textural pavement look. This one's going to be a lot more difficult because it's a longer piece. What we're getting there. Don't worry about any of the paper starting to lift up on the underside. Just don't let it lift up on the outer. Because if it does, it just won't look right. As I am now ready to apply glue to this. So it's just the same again. Just do zigzag line
all the way down pavement. Let glue stick spread out. Spread out the glue. So that's a good thing with putting the glue in a zigzag line. If you run out of glue in a small place, you can just pick it up off this and then go over that place and the glue will apply. But never ever go right to the ends. When you're doing that, you start from the ends and work your way inwards. Otherwise, you end up with no glue on the ends. And you don't really need a lot of glue in the centre. So when it's held down, it holds to a perfect standard. Just remember to fold the pavement in so the curb actually flattens out and gives a little lip for it to actually look like a real curb. Now I'm going to pause the video while I carry on doing this. Right, the glue is spread. I have had to apply a little bit more, but it's fine. All we do is level that out. Don't worry about this looking thicker than the other part. It's meant to look thicker because this is a bigger road. And still only a 2-lane, but it's got a bit of a higher speed on it. And for some reason, this pavement isn't the right length to this. I thought I'd cut it to the right length, but I haven't. Not unless if it's just not straight. It might not be straight. No, it's just not the right length. Where it should have been. But that doesn't matter. I can easily solve that. Damn it. No, too late. That bit. Let that bit go first. Right, so let's hope that that piece of cardboard that I cut that from is here somewhere. Where is it? Where's that piece of cardboard? I actually cut that to length, like that. There. Yeah, I have to make that work. Where's my scissors? I'm still recording, doing this bit off camera for a second. Right, I found my scissors. Right, what we're going to do is, so we don't use too much glue, is we're going to cut that off like that. Hold on a minute, I like to plane up. There we go. So now that's equal size to that. We're just going to glue some glue onto there. So it's not a lot of glue. Because in a minute we're going to be putting the lines on the road. must have mismeasured when I cut the end of the road off. So now we have that. We don't have to wait for that to dry. I'm going to say roughly about that thick. I haven't cut that straight, and it seems to have gone flat. Put it right to the edge of the cardboard. I'll show you the finishing touch when I'm done. Right, cannot fix that mistake. I've just tried. I'm going to try a different approach. I'll just cut the cardboard without putting paper on it, which is still not going to work. And I ain't got a piece of this where I actually cut it with the paper, so I've kind of messed this up. Not good. Anyway, pausing video again, because we've almost reached an hour and I'm not meant to spend this long on this. Right, I'm spending too much time on this. It doesn't look like I'm going to be running any vehicles or anything at the end of this video. I'm sure as hell try. But I am now going to open this because I can't find my actual pencil, but I found another one. So here goes. It's my sharpener. Obviously it's got the large and small. That obviously goes in there, and that's how you sharpen a pencil. Pausing it while I go. And this pencil was a bit dead. It's ended up at that size. It was about that much longer than what it was. Unfortunately there was no nib until now. And well, it started to give off the nib, but looked like this had been dropped a few times. So I'm going to try and measure that up again. It's not possible to fix that mess up at all. No matter how hard I try, the cardboard's just going to keep going too thin. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that lip. I might have to just make it so and the other piece of cardboard that goes there reaches over to that, which is going to make that very, very difficult. I've tried to do stuff like that before and it's never actually worked, so I may have ruined this road. That's why I didn't want to do this on video. So everything always messes up when I'm recording. And then I start getting really annoyed. Because also this cardboard's actually gone really, really ruined as well. There's actually air bubbles where it's actually lifted up from the cardboard underneath where it's supposed to be glued down because of the shoe polish actually being wet, which that shoe polish is actually not very good for this at all. Well, I can still use this. When it's dry it might put itself back to rights. Other than that, the pavement's gone really, really well. So I'm gonna have a cigarette while I let this settle a bit more. I'm happy with the back pavement so far, the one that I'm rubbing on here. I'm just making sure that it's flat enough to actually be a pavement, but if you look at the texture when I show it properly, you'll think like, Jesus Christ, that pavement looks really, really old, as if it's got a load of cracks going through it where people have ridden bikes and caused the foundation to crack and stuff like that. So back in a bit. Right, for this bit I've actually turned the table lengthways so it actually balances all this out. As you can see, I've got this road here, not overly level just yet, but it will be. So what we're going to do is now we are going to build the undercarriage for this, so it sits completely flush before we actually continue with the paving.
I've also noticed that this is not actually in line as such either, but that can be resolved. But we need to get this flush first. So I'm going to pause the video again, and then I'm going to, no I'm not, I'm going to get all the equipment ready to do this. I did just drop the laptop, it's fine, but I did manage to get a fresh piece of paper, pencil, my big ruler, my little ruler, eraser, and obviously the sharpener was already out. So what we're going to do is now is we are going to get the actual measurement of how far this is going to be. So what we need to do is we need to put this on there perfectly in line with the paving. Then we're going to measure from here to here. I'll use this little scrap piece of paper as well as. You'll see why. It's making it a little awkward, but we should be fine. So 25.567, 25.7, 25.7. So it's 25 centimeters, 7 millimeters. Fortunately, I don't actually do straight millimeters and that, but technically, if to do that in millimeters, that would be 257 millimeters, which makes it awkward to count. So what we're going to do is now, I'm going to pause the video, get set for the next bit. So what we have here now is an Amazon box at that thickness, ready to level out the road. So I'm going to pause the video while I dismantle this. Oh, one more tool that I forgot to mention to be handy is that it helps with taking down the box, as it says. It's going to dismantle it. I have done. Now, what I'm going to do is cut this away from this if I can. I might have to cut this to a neat edge. Nah, shouldn't need to. If we do it from the other edge, it should go quite neat. So I'm going to pause the video while I continue that. Right, started going solid in places, so I didn't have a proper guideline. So I finished off cutting it with a pair of scissors. Ow. Right, what we want to do is now I'm going to cut this to a straight edge. This is where the big ruler comes in. Now this time I will need a knife to cut this to a perfect straight line. There was a breach in the cardboard, that's why I've redone another line. Oh, that hasn't gone to the edge. That's it. I can follow that line. So what we want to do is now we want to get our knife. Wherever it's gone. I'm going to pause the video while I look for it. Right, I found my knife.
and we're just going to cut this line. Start off very easy till you go into the cardboard. That's how to cut a perfect straight line. But as I said before, it doesn't need to be perfect. As long as you can do what you want to do with it. So now I'm going to go through the cardboard with the knife. Cut, following the line all the way to the edge. And if you end up with any excess, all you do is just trim it off. Right, now I've got that little slice where I've just sliced that. All I do is just follow that line with the knife all the way to the other end. So I'm going to pause the video while I cut that bit off. Right, I've cut that now to a straight edge from that bit. So we have a measurement 25.7. We are going to measure out how this is going to go. So, that on there, oh, I can still see, because you'll see what I'm about to do. So, yes, that's perfect. I can work with that. I'm going to bring the light back up. That was just to get a measurement to make sure that I can use this for what I want to use it for. Let's bring the lights back up. You'll notice these change colour as I do this or not. Oh, that went to a little bit blue there. So we want pencil. Wherever it's gone, pause the video a minute while I find all pieces. They were both on the floor, right? So we want our pencil and the big ruler. And from here, we want to measure 27.5. So 25.7. Sorry. If you was to do this, your measurement could be different. So 25.7. So what this is doing, this is measuring right to the edge of this cardboard. Now what we want to check in a minute, when I've done the other side. So the same again, 25.7. Because when I measured it on there, it was at a slight bit of an angle. We just want to make sure that we get it perfect, 25.7. Now we want to join up those lines. I've lost the, oh there it is. You want to make sure that it's perfectly straight. Yeah, that looks perfect. Use a smaller ruler to straighten this right the way to the edge. That's why it's important to have a sharp pencil when you do this. You can see really fine lines. I doubt I'd be able to show this line properly on the camera. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Oh crud, oh no, yeah, that's the bit that I'm after, isn't it? I want a bigger piece. Is that correct? We need to check that. So, if I put that on there, right to that line, I slot that underneath there, get it perfect, because now I'll be able to get the real measurement. So that's completely in line. Yep, I'm a couple of millimeters off by the looks on that. Or is that not straight? Is that straight with that? No. Is that even the right way? Yeah, it's gotta be. It can only go one way. So yeah, I need to go a little bit over. So that would have been now, which is how I should have measured it, to be honest. So I'm going to need to rub that line out and I'm going to start again. I'm going to pause the video while I rub it out. Always important to double check precise measurements, because if you don't double check them, they can end up being the wrong size. So I'm going to measure it this way instead. So from there to the edge of the cardboard is, let's put that in line. Matter of fact, just make sure that it's completely perfect. This is actually being really, really awkward. But you can see that that's starting to sit flush with that. But that's not exactly a straight edge. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put the ruler I take it back. That is a straight edge. The ruler is actually showing that it's perfectly flush with this. It just doesn't look straight. Just check that again. Yeah, it's saying that that's perfectly straight. So now where we want to measure is this bit. So I can actually let that now. Hold steady. I don't see how that's the right way though, because it's where the farm's meant to go. I'm going to have to check our different measurements before I actually do this. I need to pause the video again. Right, so I have picked up the farm. So we are going to measure this now to see how well this actually fits with all this. Because the farm is the most important part of this. Right, I just need to get the cardboard off the lights. So I need to cut some of this down. I've got to cut that out. Where I'm going to get that measurement, I'm going to get this completely flush. Can't do it, I haven't got enough room, so I'm going to have to move this board down a bit. I'm going to have to do this off the camera to get this precise measurement. Right, I have a rough idea of where the farm is going to go. I'm going to cut this out and then double check measurements. Hopefully I've got this correct. cutting a section out of this bit of cardboard, but still got plenty of gap there. Which will show pretty much a good feature on this. I'm going to put it down on the floor at the end of this video, hopefully. Somewhere, because unfortunately my room is really a mess from constructing this. Which hopefully I'll get this done tonight. I can have a sleep, wake up in the morning, clean up my room, and we can build something else. So obviously, where I'm about to stab the knife now, I'm stabbing it in sideways. The reason why I'm saying this is because when I've got there, eventually, there we go, it's gone through at a bit of an angle. That doesn't matter, I'm straight in that off. Can't really see the line. I want to bring this light a bit closer. I am on the line, swear. There's a crack in the cardboard. I'm not sure how that's actually got there. But yeah, so from that line where I've started cutting and this one where I've just started cutting, that bit's going to be disappeared. I've paused in the video while I cut that out. Right, for this, I'm going to do the rest of this on video. Duh. So now we have, no, let me move the lights. Now we have a bit of an L shape in the road. There. That's where the farm's going to fit. Now, I want to pause the video and show you how it's going to measure up. I will be moving the camera so you can overlook the pattern of how it's going. Right, I have got it good enough in line. So you can see why I've cut that bit out. I can't see the screen. I can't see it on the screen now. I'm going to bring the lights a bit closer so you can see why I cut that bit out. Right, this is the farm here. It's too hard to see. It's the shadowing. Right, so that's the farm there. I've cut that bit out on the road. Move the lights a bit further over. So we can actually, you know what, I'm going to curve them round. I should have paused the video while I've done that, but never mind. So yeah, we can see nothing because I can't get the camera to aim in the right place. Right, so we can see the road bit. Yeah. We can't see anything else. Try this angle. Right, we can see the farm and the road bit. We can see where I've cut that bit out so the farm fits flush with the road where it enters. Because then that's the other bit of road. Well, now I've pointed that out, I'm going to pause the video and we're going to get precise measurements again. I've just figured out that we have to make new measurements now because it's pointless trying to get the road to hold into place there because that technically doesn't reach. So we're going to start this end. So I'm going to need to turn this around. I'm going to try and do it at that angle.
not going to work. Let me just try it. Sorry, I thought it was recording. It's a good job it wasn't. I'm messing up my measurements already. I've lost where I was actually going with this. So I know that I'm trying to do this side first. So from there to there, 29.3. Now I've got my measurements correct. So there's 29, there's 0.3. Always make sure that you get your line, this is why I like using secret rulers, make sure that you get the lines as accurate, straight with that as possible. And then you just draw a little marker there. Then do the same again, a bit further on up. .3. Then you look for those two dots that you've just drawn, which you can only see one. I'll find the other one. I'm happy with that. I want to make sure that it's straight with the edging up here. So now I'll cut that to a straight edge. Always do. Make sure that they're lined up properly. I like to get both measurements in. That looks about right. There's the other dot. The other dot's there. So my line that I've cut from here probably isn't. Oh yes, it is. I didn't get it straight on there. It's hard to see with this lighting. There. I'm going to draw that line straight there. Now off camera, obviously, you know how to cut a line. Just going to cut that line straight there. Do not scribble on any of the cardboard. I know that people say to do that to show which pieces you don't want and which pieces you do want. But you never know that this piece might actually come in handy. So don't do the scribbling things. Just do your line, cut it out and make sure that you get the right piece. Put a little arrow on it or something, a little marking, because you're not going to see it's gone underneath the cardboard, just to show which one that you're using, if you need to. I don't need to because I never get confused. I'll just check the measurements, and whichever one fits perfect is the one that I want. So pause the video while I cut this out. Right, done that. Now to find out which side I want, instead of getting all the cardboard out and to measure it up, this one measures at less than 23 centimeters, so that's not the one I want. This one measures at 29.3 centimeters, so that's the one I want. Right, moving on to the next part, because now we know that the part I've just cut out is the part that goes here. So what we're going to do now is, that's a bit of a rough edge on there, so I'm going to turn this, no I'm not, I'm going to leave that the way it is. I'm going to put this over the top of it to find out that that's actually a little bit too small for that length. That doesn't matter. I'm going to cut a little break and I'll show you why that does not matter. I just found out that I've made a really huge mistake, because I am going to lip for this road, so I've actually technically cut that too small anyway. So we're going to use a different piece of cardboard from the same box. Just get rid of the tape off this, let me get it sorted out. Turns out I need to open up a new box.
box because that one has now lost all its cardboard because it's got broken ridges on it. So it's looking enough. I do have another box. Don't know how well this one will work, but let's just hope for the best. Pause video while I rip this apart. Right, so I now 29.3, I think it was. That's accurate. Hold on, I've still got tape on this. I can't get rid of it. I'm tearing up the cardboard. I've got too much damage on that. You do not want tape on your cardboard. Oh, it's poking out. No, I can't get rid of that. So technically I have no boxes to finish this because now I've run out. Oh, I got rid of that bit of tape. But I am ruining the cardboard slightly. I got rid of all the tape. Sorry folks about this. It was just tape. Now I'm going to work from this edge. So I'm going to cut this to a straight line. I'm going to pause the video while I do that. Because I'm only going to just do it with scissors, no measurements. Scratch that, I can't see the lines properly on this, I thought I could. I'm just going to draw a straight line. I don't know where my pencil's. There it is. Oh wow, all this stuff has to be so awkward. I still can't get a precise measurement. I have to stand up to do it. No matter which way around I put the ruler. Nothing ever goes right for me, so I'm used to this sort of crap happening. Now I'm calling that straight. Right, pausing the video while I cut that line that I've just drawn with the knife. Right, I've cut that straight edge. And get my pencil and my large ruler again. Now this time, we're doing the measurements slightly different. So I know that it was 29.3 centimeters. I think. Where's that piece of paper? The measurements on. I'm pausing the video while I find that. Scratch that, that was only a 2-second pause, it was actually sat right next to me, and yes, it's 29.3. You'll see why I'm redoing this in a minute, because I forgot to do the connection for the next piece of road to connect on. Without that, the road would just fall all over the place. Not work very good. 2 seconds while I just put some while I sharpen up my pencil. That's what I was going to say, put some point on my pencil. Right, so it's 29.3. Won't make the same mistake again. Made those mistake just. If I make a mistake, it'll be a complete different one. Same here, 29.3. I can't really tell if that was 29.3. No, it wasn't. that's 29.3. So using my ruler, I'm going to draw those lines together. Oh, that's good. The ruler actually stretches right the way across. Because I can see lines on this. Measure up straight. That doesn't totally look straight. Put that right to the edge. That's a straight line. That can't be a straight line. Where the dot's gone? There's one. That can be a straight line. I'll just cut it to a bit of an angle. Let's check this dot a minute. That is 29.3. That one isn't. That's 29.4. That's 29.3. What was it around there? Yeah, that's not overly straight. So I'm going to have to try and do the best I can. No, I've lost it. There it is. So that's a good job that this actually big out on the road. I'm guessing that's roughly the right size. Simplified out by putting this on here. This is where it's going to go. It does look about right. Let's get a bit of road over here. There's that line up, check it. Can't measure it up very good. According to this, that line is totally incorrect. So I'm going to have to redo that. I'm not getting this. Something not right. Where's my eraser? Pausing the video again. Right, I located the problem. I hadn't actually cut that edge in straight. I have now. Anyway, I'm going to have a cigarette, plug my charger in the laptop properly because it stopped charging, and then we're going to continue. Right, so now I've sorted all that out. And have a cigarette. I'm going back. I'm trying getting this sorted out. I've lost my pencil again. I found it. So it's 29.3. What do I want? It's important to get this perfectly straight. otherwise the whole thing will just mess up. That is 29.3. So this part, this way I can get the line perfectly straight as well. 29.3. I'm going to join that up now. I've lost the other dot. Draw it again. I found the dot. Slightly off anyway. Yeah, that looks perfectly straight. Right, this time, before I cut that out, we are going to bring the road back. I'm going to position this there. I'm going to need the other road. I'll just slide that underneath. Oh, no. Don't need the other road. But that joins here, not here. Yeah, that one fits to this. So what we need to do, I'll actually do it from this bit down here. We'll put a marker there and a marker there. No, I'm gonna have it a bit wider than that, I think. So I'm gonna put an X for the next marker. There. An X. There. So where the X's are is where I'm going to do the next part. Now, when I look at this, and I'm going to need my small ruler. See, honey. I'm going to measure that from there to there, see what it actually measured out at. Well, it measures just over 6 centimetres. So because I've got this one going precise at the moment, I do exactly 6 centimetres from there to there. Matter of fact, I'm going 5 centimetres. Same on this part. Centimetres. I'm using the big ruler. I'm going to join those two lines together. So then that's the jigsaw pattern for the next piece of road. So now I'm going to cut that out and it should have all that shape. So the line in the middle won't be cut. It's just this. It's going to be cut in this shape. See why that I made the pencil. You'll see what I mean when I'm done. I'm going to pause the video to cut it out. Right, we are now finished, and that was the shape I was looking for. That's why I had to redo this to get that shape. That now is the lip for the next piece of the thing to go on. Now what we need to do is put that on there. again, because we went from that bit I need to draw a straight line along this and trim that, because this edge is actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it's iffy. It needs to come off. That's easy because I can actually see really thick lines on this to follow. So I'm going to pause the video while I cut that off. You know what, scratch that. I am actually going to draw over one of the lines so I can actually see it properly. So I am actually going to draw over one of the lines and then cut it out. So I'm going to pause the video while I do that. Right, I've cut that edge down to as straight as possible. I'm happy with that. It's got a few little bumps in it, but that doesn't matter. At least it looks neat. So, moving back onto this bit now. I'm going to put this back underneath here until I'm happy with it being flush with the road. So it's from that end. I've got the wood over the table. So what I'm doing now here is I'm cutting this cardboard underneath to the exact length of this road. I want to make sure it's perfectly flush. Now I want a small ruler, there it is. And we are going to cut off the cardboard underneath this one. It's been a bit awkward for me to say. So, 3.4 millimeters. 3.4 millimeters is going to be cut off this edge here, so it fits flush with that. I'm going to pause the video while I do that. I'm going to draw the markings out first so you know that this is exactly what I am actually doing. Where's my pencil? Three point four. A big ruler. I'm going to cut that off there. I'm going to cut it off camera. Right, I've done that. Let's just see how well that fits. That appears to fit quite snug. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn this upside down. That's a bit iffy on that edge. Not sure how that's happened. It's where the road is. Trying to make that a bit flush. You know what? Forget it. I'm just going to continue. Otherwise, it means cutting that down a bit more. made it that easier to have gone flush with that, but I ain't doing it. Oh, just to let you know, the texture on this looks like that horrible tarmac. When you run over it with your car, it tends to flake everywhere and make a real horrible noise on the tyres. So that's actually a really good texture on that, in my eyes. So it looks realistic. Right, no, we need to turn this upside down, don't we? So yeah, that is actually perfectly flush with that. What we're going to do now, we're going to see how well that measures up with the road. So now that we know that fits perfectly flush, I'm going to put the road, this bit of road, underneath. Get this perfectly lined up with it. Check the measurement. Yes, I'm perfectly happy with that. That seems to be straight. That is move up slightly. So it's not perfectly flat. What is it? No, it is, it's perfectly flat, so all I have to do is glue that in place. So we're going to move this piece of road, turn this upside down, make sure that goes the right way round, and we're going to glue this right there. So I'm going to pause the video while I do that. Actually, I want to show how to actually apply the glue to this. I think it would be best if I glued it on this side. I think. Oh, right there now, because I can only go one way. That doesn't matter. You don't see that anyway. It's only underlay. Just to help it fit together like a jigsaw. Damn, I've just messed up. Where's one of them pieces of tissue there? That was a bit of a waste of glue, because we don't want glue on there. That should not take long to dry out. I may need a bit more tissue. I did have some, I don't know where it's gone. I went and fetched some fresh tissue. It's not in my pocket. What the hell did I do with that? I'm gonna pause the video while I can get some more. Now I can actually move that for it. Right, so got my new piece of tissue. I'll remove that glue good enough that will dry. Now what I want to do is, when I apply the glue, not to put it on that lip. This is how to apply the glue. You just hold on, because my lid's got a bit stuck, which means that there's glue blocking it. Quite a lot of it as well. I've got it, I think. No, no. Oh, Yeah, I did. Got it. So that should be enough. Do is wherever that's gone, let's get a fresh one. A glue spreader and spread all that out. Nice and even. If you need to apply more glue, apply more glue. You can see what I'm doing. Don't get any glue on the lip, because that's where your next piece of road is going to go. So I'm going to pause the video while I spread the rest of this glue out. Applied the glue. All nice and sticky. All we do is turn it over, line it up perfectly with this. With that book thing that I was using as a weight, put that on there. Over it's gone. I've lost it. You cry that loud. Right, I found it. I'm going to put that on there. Level it up again. Make sure that it's perfectly level, which it's not. I can't seem to slide it over. I'm going to have to move the box. Because it's important this gets perfectly flush, otherwise the rest of the road won't fit together. So we want to. Now we put the book on. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to pause the video and cigarette while we let that dry. So it should not take long to, not fully dry, but shouldn't take long to start sticking. Because it's only a thin layer of glue, that's all you need. Scratch out, it's not all you need. But the thicker the glue, the longer it takes to dry. The thinner the glue, it dries quicker. Right, I'm back from a cigarette break. I've just checked this, the measurement seems legit. So I'm going to remove this block. I'm going to turn this over. I'll put it that way, as you can see on the camera. It will be lifted up a bit, don't worry about that, because there's cardboard underneath. Yeah, that don't look too bad at all. Oh yeah, it's on the right. It's not level. There we go, so when the rest of the cardboard is there, that will sit flush. So moving on to the next piece. Which is going to be an easy measurement to do. Once you get the one piece of cardboard, everything else is easy. You need the big ruler. I'm a little one. I'm a big ruler. I can't find my big ruler. Give me a moment while I find my big ruler. Right, I found it. So what we're going to do is now we're going to measure this piece of cardboard, the thick piece, not the round. Measuring the underlay cardboard. And it's saying it's... That can't be right. It can be 25.8
25.9. So this time, because we actually use this measurement, it was the correct one, I'm going to put a line through it. We don't need that no more. So what was this measurement? 25.9. 25.9. Now what we're going to do is we are going to move this out of the way. And we're going to get the ruler again. And at the very edge, just reach into this, to the edge of this piece of cardboard, one that we've glued down. From there, and we're going to go what was it? 25.9. No, that can't be right. That can't be 25.9. Let's have a look at something. Oh, that's not cut to actual exact measurement. So what we're going to do is, because we've got that bit now completely accurate, now pressing on the cardboard, can't really get this measurement. I'm going to cut this to an actual straight edge. Using the craft knife. So I've got my line. I will do this one on video to show how I actually cut the cardboard. Don't start right from the edge. I cut into the line. Until it goes right the way through the cardboard. And then I follow the line. Which this measurement now will make this 10 times easier. I don't know why I decided to try and measure from the actual road. Now I'm cutting like three pieces, 5 layers of cardboard, sorry. So that's why it's a bit of a struggle. Because this is double corrugated cardboard that I'm cutting through. So you get the one layer of cardboard which is perfectly flat. Next layer is the bumpy stuff. And there's another thin layer like this in between, and then there's another bumpy layer on top, and then the other side of the cardboard being flat. So that makes 5 layers of cardboard. There we go. That now should be exactly in line with that. Yes, it is. What we do now, that's a bit weird, that bit of overlap, does it? No, it doesn't. Not too bad, to be honest. But could have been a bit better. So what we need to do is just cover this bit in cardboard. So that measurement is no good, so we're tearing that one off. Ignore that measurement. I'm making a brand new one. From there, oh, a really difficult one. We are going to have to put a piece of cardboard over this. I think I've just found a perfect piece. This won't take long to cut this. It's only thin cardboard. Done.
Yeah, I've got that overlapping on there, but that's actually a straight edge. So the edge I'm going to get rid of is this one. How I'm going to do that? I'm going to turn the cardboard around. Turn the cardboard over. Get that flush underneath there. New tactic. We're just going to glue this cardboard down. But I'm going to put a line mark there. And I'm going to draw straight across this on that line mark. Just to show roughly where not to glue. So this is going to take up a lot of glue. It's a big piece of cardboard. Line doesn't need to be perfect, because once I glue this on here, I've got it stuck down. I'm going to use a craft knife and just trim the edges off. It's the easiest way to do that. Before I actually do that, I'm going to do the same again. This side, mark out where not to glue. You know what? Scratch that. I'm just going to glue. Because that's a very thin line. I just know not to put much glue on. Try and get rid of as much of this tape as possible. Yeah, that'll do. I'm actually going to glue it on that side. You know what? I've just noticed a bit of an if, so I'm going to redo the measurement on the opposite side. So I get my eraser. I'm going to pause the video while I erase this line and then we're going to start again. Right, I'm just on my eraser. I've erased the line. I've just noticed there's an iffy bit on this side and this bit's iffy. So we're going to actually do the measurement completely different. I'm going to start with putting that there. So I can get rid of that iffy bit and that iffy bit. I'm going to just put a little marker there, a little marker there. And we'll draw a straight line. Over that marker. Try to get it as straight as possible. So I know where I'm putting my glue and where I'm not. Make a mark on this one. I've lost it. There it is. This bit doesn't need to be perfect. Remember, this is underlay. It's just got to look perfect. That's what it's got to do. Now I'm ready for point blank. I need to clean off the lid on this. Give me a minute while I do that. Right, sort out the lid. So what we're going to do is, obviously this is going to take a lot of glue. Let's do a big massive one of those and double it up. And now we're going to get a glue spreader and spread that around. Not going over those lines that I've drawn. So I may need to apply more glue than this. If you want something fixed down properly, you glue the whole lot of it, not just one small part or just around the edges, because then the middle can start bulking up and start making things fall out of place. And if you drop it, it can easily fall apart. Best to have glue spread it out evenly. So we might have about a couple of little patches when you do it like this, being there, because you can't see them. It might make any effect to how much more glue is around it. So I do try and cover up all the patches. Just how quick and easy I actually spread glue on this much of a surface. And I need to add more glue. I think I definitely need to add more glue. I'll add more glue. So instead of going the way that I went just, I'll go lengthways. Double over again. Should do it. I didn't go right to the line on that either. I definitely needed more glue. Right, you can see what I'm doing with this, so I'm going to pause the video and continue. Right, I think I've got it glued up as much as possible. Don't know if it'll stick properly, but here goes. Oh, crikey. I just stumbled upon another problem. I don't know how the hell I'm going to sort this out. But I've got to cut some of this cardboard off. I don't think I'm really stuff like that. I'm actually being serious. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this. But we have a huge problem because that's got to go there. I need to get that right to the edge of the cardboard. And I've now got to try and cut that bit off. So I've got rough measurement where it needs to be cut. And need to do this before it dries. That's what happens when you don't get the measurements correct. Or if you forget about measurements. I should have measured up if the road would actually attach to this. I'm cutting off the line here. Right. So I'm going to pull that back and just cut it off. It's not cutting perfectly, but it is getting there. So I said this is going to be really difficult. I wasn't wrong. I had to do a bit of a rush job. I haven't got time to pause the video. No, I'm not going to illustrate. This has made this really difficult. Oh, I'm cutting. Break away those pieces. Because obviously I don't want to cut into the cardboard underneath. So I'm going to go the soft way. Tiny little lump can make drastic manoeuvres. That's about right. Nowhere near. I'm going to go a bit further over. I'm not going to be able to do this at all. I may have just ruined all this work. So this would have been completely for nothing. So I can't remove this cardboard now. Not without tearing up the other cardboard underneath. And the worst part of this is there's no way that this is dried properly. It hasn't stuck down properly, in other words. I'm just making a complete mess of this. Right, I hope that I can rip this up. Not happening. Like I said, it hasn't dried properly. All that glue is dried, but it hasn't stuck to this end because there's nothing there holding it. So I've got to try and fold that now. Just to apply more glue. realise that I've cut into that. Maybe realise. Oh yeah, this is going to be the worst sloppy job ever. Sorry for leaving the video running while I do this, but I have no choice. I have to get rid of all this. Otherwise all this work would have been for no reason. I'll pause it quickly. Right, now we're back. You can see what I mean. That it hasn't properly dried, or there is still some glue. It might still stick. We're just gonna have to hope. Now I'm gonna have to try and lift all this up. It's gone completely out of sync. All I'm doing now is wrecking it. See what I mean? There's nothing I can do about that. Which means now I've got to trim this part, I think. Oh no, it is. It's in sync. Thank God for that. But other than that, I've kind of totally ruined this. I'm still going to try and fix it. I need something underneath this to hold this bit flat. But I'm just going to have to press on it. So I'm going to pause the video until this is dry. Right, we're back. So that has dried roughly to satisfaction. So what we're going to do is now we're going to neaten this up to the edges. So how we're going to do that is wherever that's gone. Alright, the reason why it took so long with importing the video is because I used a monitor to actually hold this down. I put it flat down. It's not a working monitor, and I knocked over my dehumidifier, so I ended up with water everywhere. Luckily enough, it didn't attack any of my important work, but it did get over a lot of cardboard that I have. I managed to rescue the majority of the cardboard. How we're going to do this now is we're going to get the craft knife, go right to the edge of the road, and we'll just cut around the edging to get rid of all the excess cardboard that we don't want. So I'm going to pause the video while I do that. Hold on, come back a minute so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So obviously that lip there, that needs to go. That lip there needs to go. And this lip here, that needs to go. So you can see what I'm cutting now. I'll show you the finishing touches after. Right, finishing touches. Edges now completely parallel. One another. Can't see that one, but that and that lip is gone. I need to bend this out a little because it's starting to fold. You have to do this sometimes with your cardboard. You don't want to over bend it though, You just want it so it's flat. Right. Moving on to the fun part. Let me pause the video to get set up for that. Right, I found out why this road won't sit flush with it. It's because of the wood underneath. So if I move that further on over here, still doesn't sit flush. Not sure why that's happening. But you can see that it wants to sit flush. I don't know if you lot could see that. I'm not going to try and show that on the camera, but I can now get a rough idea of where I'm going with this. So what we're actually doing now, you can't see exactly what I'm pointing at, is the white lines. I'm going to show you how to do that. Right, we need the small ruler. And this is where this fresh piece of paper comes in. Give me a minute while I find the small ruler. Right, I've moved you in a little bit closer because what we're going to do now are these little lines in the road. I'll show you how to do it. So what you need is, that's not my ruler. How the hell have I managed to end up with that instead of my ruler? Oh, I did put my ruler. What we're going to need is a ruler, this bit of road, a plain piece of paper. I think it was 2mm. Yes. And what we're going to do is, to actually do these lines, it's so simple. So simple. Is we're going to measure the length of this paper 2mm from the very edge. Longer. There's 2 dots. And then you need the big ruler. Wherever that's gone. I'm struggling to move this piece of paper around. I pause in video, I want to find a big ruler. I didn't need to go out, it was behind me. So what we do now is we line up them 2 dots with the edge of the ruler along the paper. And just draw a line right down the paper. There we go. Now, I can't remember the actual length of these. They are 2.5 centimeters. So, from the edge of the paper, obviously it's best to do a bit higher up. From the edge of the paper, 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. I should use the big ruler for this actually. Makes it easier. There's it gone again. How the hell does that ruler keep lifting? There it is. So I'm going to put this big ruler exactly where they were. That's it. So I'm going to turn this the other way about. So I've not got the ruler sticking this way. As a matter of fact, I should have done it. I'm going to put those dots out and start again. I'm going to pause video while I do that. Let's hope that went in sync. I paused a bit too soon. Right, so we want 2.5. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, 2.5.
5, 7.5, 10, 12.5. Is that right? That looks a bit too big. So 1, 2.5. Yeah, it is 12.5. 14.5. No, sorry, 15. 17.5. 20. 22.5. 25. 27.5. And the next one would have been 13. Now, hopefully, that little piece at the end will lead up with the piece on there to actually make that the exact length. The only way to find that out is draw these straight lines along here. That's what I should have done in the first place, was done these lines. But then again, I could be wasting paper, so just draw them down. I should really use a small ruler for this. I'm not going to get in a big massive ruler in my way. So I'm going to pause the video while I carry on doing this. So what we have now is those lines drawn at the bottom, and all you do, a very thin line first is what you cut. So you cut this way first. So I'm going to pause the video while I finish up cutting that. So you can see where I'm cutting actually. You can see that bit that I've cut so far. I'm going to cut that perfectly straight along that line. I'm going to pause the video while I finish that off. Right, next you want something mildly precious to you that can hold stuff, like my trailer here. And now obviously we've cut that long strip where these little lines are now. I just cut them and put them into there. Now I'm going to have to cut the two ends off first so I know which one I'm putting into the cart and which one I'm not. Right, so that one's shorter than that one. Just make sure that that's the correct length. That is not too long. Yep, now move the short one out of the way. Probably two long ones that you just cut. Put them in something like this so you don't lose them. That's all there is to actually making the white lines. I'm going to pause the video, cut the rest of these, and then I'll show you how to stick them down. Right, so all my white lines are in there. So now I'm going to get set up and show you how to stick them down. I'm pausing the video again while I do that. Right, this line was too small. I'm going to measure it to this. I'm going to need to find my pencil, so I'll pause the video again. I found it. So I'm going to put that over the centimetres. I'm going to measure that to 2.5. So now if I follow the lines, I can see that's where I need to cut this line for it to fit in place. Just put that on video because it's a rubbish piece of paper. I'm throwing away. The end of that, but that piece I want to keep. Now, I'm going to set up, ready to stick this down. Right, so the way to stick this down now, these lines. Obviously, I've measured that one out to fit perfectly with the line here. So this should connect with this line. The way that you glue them down, you don't try and put glue on there because it'll just become a whole mess. Just get rid of the excess glue off this. Get your glue and you just pour a little dot on your glue spreader, roughly about that much. Get the line and you just dab it in the glue, moving it across the tiny paper. It'll grab hold of the glue straight away. Measuring up. Oh, Christ, I need to lift that back off quick before it dries. So that's the difference between having quite a lot amount of glue, because when you dab it in the glue, it does actually put a lot on for the small piece. So it takes a while for the glue to dry. But when you get it perfectly measured out, like I just have, it sticks down perfect. So now we need to find out now what the spacing is between those lines. Oh, I'm losing my lights. So now we can move on to these lines, so I can put this back this way. So what we do is now to find out where we're putting these lines. I'm going to need a pencil. 1 minute while I find a small ruler. So what we do now I found my small ruler, is we just find out exactly what the gap is between those, which is 2 centimeters. So that's not that difficult. So what you do is you get your ruler, put the line on the 2 centimeters, you go over the line, and then just 1 millimeter away from the 0, you put a little dot. Oh, no, sorry, I'll be moving that a little, so we can rub that out. No, can't. So that's going to mess that up a little. Put a little dot above the 0. And you make sure that the white line goes on there. So get the white line. And get your glue stick spreader wherever that's gone again. I swear to God, something's moving stuff around in my room. 1 minute while I find it. I found it. So glue spreader, and do the same thing again. Just a little tiny blotch of glue. Show you again roughly about that much. Then get one of your proper lines now. It doesn't matter about them getting creased as long as they don't rip. When you stick them down, they stick down in a straight line. Now I've got to make sure that I get the right dot. Also, I'll use the ruler to put it in place when I can fucking find it. Sorry, but I'm starting to get really annoyed because nothing's just working at this moment. Nothing at all. Found it.
This is why it's horrible at having a nice, neat workspace. So put the ruler on the line, seeing where the dot is, and you just space it out. It's not working. And that's now slipped out of place. Yep, that's gone well over 2 centimeters. Now I ain't gonna be able to get that back up. Oh, I am. So yeah, I can't remember exactly how I did this before. That looks bad enough straight. So forget drawing the dot with the ruler. I don't think I actually did that the first time I've done this. I'm trying to remember everything, but not doing a very good job. I already had a line here. Let's have the next one. Same again. The glue on. Then just measure out the 2 centimeters. I've actually gone in a straight line, not straightened it this way. Just go 2 centimeters away, but make sure that you've got it in line with the ruler. Oh yeah, these lines are 2.5 centimeters. It's gone completely out of place or because I'm messing up the measurements. And that's all there is to it. And as you can see, they look almost straight. I can't say that they are actually completely straight because I don't know. But they are straight enough to look perfectly straight. Right, same again. This is the last one I'm going to show on video because obviously I'm going to show how to do the lines for that. This one just doesn't want to go down. There we go, got it. Let's just move that in place. Yeah, move it a lot out of place. There, got it. Press it down, right. The last couple off video. Looks like I'm not doing any last couple off video. Right. Now, this needs more drawing for it. Right, you need to figure out which way around it goes. Doesn't matter which way around you face this road, because even if you put it that way, the arrows will still face in the same direction. It's best off going from this side, so we know that that's the double short lines and this is the long thin ones. So I'm going to say for those
1.5 centimeters. Don't know how many I'm going to need, so I'm going to move this to one side again. That's actually starting to feel really heavy. That means that the glue's dry. So we are going to get a fresh piece of paper, ruler, and this, and it's the same again, 2 millimeters. Now we are going to draw that. And now I'm going to need, when I've done this, another wagon. So I'm going to pause the video while I can get another wagon. So here we have the other wagon. I'll move that out of the way for now. So with these lines, no, I want to pick really back. I want 1.5 centimeters. This is why not to go all the way across the paper. That's why I didn't. I know I mentioned of doing that, but that's only if you're doing a lot of roads all at once. Then it's worth doing that. But for this, no. So 1.5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 3.5 centimeters, 6 centimeters, 7.5 centimeters, 9 centimeters, 10.5 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 13.5 centimeters, 15 centimeters, 16.5 centimeters, 18 centimeters, 19.5 centimeters, 21 centimeters. Ow, sorry, my hand's gone a bit spazzy. Right, 22.5 centimeters, 24 centimeters, 25.5 centimeters, 27 centimeters, 28.5 centimeters, and that's as far as we can go. Can't reach 30 on there. So it's just the same again, except for the centimeters are a lot smaller. And then all you do is you just draw the lines again. So I'm going to pause the video while I draw the lines. Right, I have now finished drawing those. So the next thing to do is just the same as doing those lines, is cut them out. Like so. So as you can see what I'm doing, cutting that long line that I drawed again, and then you cut the individuals. So I'm going to come off the camera while I get it ready to cut the individuals. Right, you have to do the same again, cut the ends off. Well, cut an end off and one extra. And then cut the other end off. Right, let's get our wagon. Right, so those two are the same length. They go in there. I can go to one side. I don't think I'll be using that.
just cut all these into here again. I want to pause the video while I do that. Right, so I've got all those lines in there. Now we're going to get the road back. So you can see roughly to the middle of this. Right, I'm going to double check again which side I'm going to be working on. Oh, let me pick up all that. Right, so it's this side that has these lines. What we want to do is we want to get our glue spreader. It's just the same again. Putting these onto the road. You don't need to measure out the first one as such, just need to get it in line with the pavement. I'm happy with that. I don't know if you can see that, let me move that. So the line I've just put down is there. Now we're going to follow it with another one, but what spacing to do on these, I'm going to say I'm going to say 5mm. Before I actually glue this one down, I'm going to say how it would look 5mm. If it would look perfect or not. Now, yeah, 5mm is perfect. So we're going to do 5mm. Here we go. We have the two lines going along there. Should really use a bigger ruler on this actually. Make sure that, yeah, I need to peel that one back up. That didn't actually go right. Don't want to use this ruler. Oh, that one hasn't even gone right. Let's have to peel that back up. No, it's gonna have to just suffer being like that. Won't be noticeable being on level. I'm gonna put this one back down. That one's stuck. Next one. After this one, I'm going to pause the video until I've actually made it
to where I want it to go to. Yeah, I'm overly happy with that actually. It's going pretty neat. I'm going to pause the video to put more on. Right, I have reached to where I want to go to. I might as well just left it plain just to put that last one on. Plus, I still had some glue left on here, so I didn't have to pour it on from that bottle. But now we're going back to these lines, the longer ones. Let me just double check that I've got that correct. Yes, I have got it correct. Right, so if I now get the smaller ruler next to that, I know that that needs to be 2 centimeters from there to there. So where would this line stop at that 2 centimeters? It would stop there. So we need to make a new line, which I thought I might have had to. That's why I didn't put nail glue on that. So we need our piece of paper again. Now we need this piece of paper. This looks like it should do it. So 2 centimeters from there to there. This isn't going how I am hoping it to go. Right, to start with, let's cut this piece off first, I think. Now, I've got to draw it out. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the 2 millimeters this way. And 2 millimeters this way. Oh, should have drawn another dot, so I know exactly where I'm measuring. Just draw those 2 lines. Like I just had. And you want to cut along those lines. But do not cut too far. You want them to join in the middle. You'll see what I mean? You're trying to make an L shape. Because I'm not going to need all that. That's why I didn't bother drawing a line at the bottom or nothing. Let's make that a little bit difficult. So I'm going to draw on the other side, 2 millimeters. And draw another line. And I'll be careful because that's almost about to reach 3 hours of video time. So you can see what I've done with this so far. I will pause the video in a minute. And then you can see what shape I'm going for afterwards.
So obviously I've cut that bit so far. You don't cut it all the way to the edge. You just start cutting this one. So I'm going to pause the video now while I finish that. Right, I'm back, not completely cut, but that's what you wanted to do, is cut so far to there. And what you want to do is you want to get your craft knife over it's gone. There it is. And then just gently prise it right to the edge. This doesn't want to do it. Oh, it is. It's getting there. Stop there. I want to do the same. This side. There we go. So that's the shape we're looking for. Right, now what we've got to do is, glad it's that long, put it so it's in line with the middle line here, and just below these lines here. There's a reason for that, because now what we're going to do is we're going to get the ruler again, and we're going to measure 5 centimeters from there. Which is saying there. Now because of this being so thin, you don't need to worry about measurements or anything like that. Just make sure that it's straight with the scissors over that dot and sharp. Now then, what we're going to do now is get that in line with those. It doesn't matter whether it's in line with that just yet. But now we need to measure from there to the end of this 2 centimeters. So from the line on the road that's already glued down, making sure that that's in line with those, we want to mark 2 centimeters, which is roughly there. And then it's just the same scenario again. Just chop in a straight line over the dot. Now, there's all pencil lines all over this, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rubber over it's gone, eraser, rather, call it by its proper name when I'm doing videos. Alright, I'm going to try and do it with the pencil one then. And you just want to gently, so don't draw the lines too thickly on these. Don't try and